Testing. All right, it's working. Okay. Hi. How's everybody doing this fine Sunday morning? If you didn't notice, I did not do an episode last week. I don't know why, except that I had an obsession with a video game called Dark Souls, the remastered edition. And it's not the only thing I was doing. I was also obsessing over a manga comic book called Berserk. It apparently started in 1989. So this is a story decades in the making. I think it's about 377 chapters long, or so I thought. It's an epic story of an orphaned bastard kid who grew up on his own, just fighting. Didn't really know how to get along any other way except for fighting. He was raised by a soldier, I guess, that sort of adopted him, and doesn't seem like he can remember any other parents other than that soldier that just took him in. The guy was an alcoholic, kind of an asshole for a father, and he more than likely beat him, but he also taught him how to fight. The most despicable thing he did in one at one time was he sold him to some guy that liked small young boys, and he raped the main character named Guts, which is obviously not a name, so I'm going to have to assume that we don't know his actual name since he was separated from his family, which is pretty weird because he didn't seem like he was adopted as a baby. He seemed to be adopted at like maybe, I don't know, 5 years old, something like that. But I guess maybe he could forget his own name, possibly. When you're five, not really fully fully aware, fully on, fully awake. So he doesn't remember his real name. He doesn't remember his parents. This is never even brought up. His name being Guts is never even brought into question. But this is basically what the story is presenting the reader with. He doesn't know his parents. This soldier guy pretty much adopted him. They don't even really say that until like pretty near the end. Pretty much just insinuate that this was his actual dad. He was just an alcoholic soldier that would beat him and not really care for him very much. Um, since he knows how to fight, since he had the traumatic episode event of being fucking raped, he is very paranoid now, very cautious and watchful of others. He's antisocial, pretty much, which is understandable. Um, one night he has to defend himself from his drunk father again, and well, you combine all that together, and the result was that he killed him. He killed the father, kind of accidentally. It was just a sort of a reaction, uh, and it was one of those things that even though he knew the motherfucker sent him off with some fucking guy that liked boys. I don't know if he got paid or whatever the fuck, or if he just thought it was funny. But yeah, the guy was a piece of shit, and the main character Guts still regrets killing him because that was his only parental figure. Um, he sort of became this sort of rogue, jaded mercenary that goes from place to place, getting paid to do a job and then moving on. Uh, Refuses to let anybody get close to him. One guy, I think, just sort of patted him on the back as a congratulations, and he went off on the guy. Eventually, he finds a gang of people around his own age that are, you know, not necessarily in a similar situation, but not too dissimilar. I think they're called the Band of the Hawk. They're being led by uh, one guy named Griffith, and Griffith and Guts seem to be about the same age. They both look like they're in their late teens. And Griffith is apparently the best fighter, but Guts is also an extremely strong fighter. And Griffith says to Guts that he's got to join his group. And he wants him, and he gets what he wants. And I'm not sure who, I think it was Guts that said, the only way I'm going to do that is if you can best me in a fight. And Griffith does. And so reluctantly, I don't know if it's reluctantly, because I think this is what he needed. He needed to be in surrounded by a group of people his own age so he can feel more connected. And of course, he starts making friends with everybody in that group, except for one girl. One of the members, one of the closest members to Griffith, is this young girl named Casca. I think that's how you say her name. And she's actually jealous because Griffith seems to really like Guts a lot because the guy is a strong, doesn't have a lot to say, so no nonsense kind of guy. And Griffith likes that. I think because Griffith is supposed to be this very I don't know how you might say it. He's androgynous. He's a metrosexual. He looks like a pretty woman, but he's a guy. So he looks like a very good-looking model who can also kick ass and be a leader and stuff like that. And Casca, um, I guess I have to describe her as a tomboy because she is surrounded by guys and she gets along with them and she's a warrior and she kicks ass and she refuses to have long hair. So if she has long hair, she will cut it short. And she's always shitting on Guts for not kissing Griffith's ass like everybody else. Everybody else is in awe of the leader of the Band of the Hawk, but Guts, while he is also in awe, you can tell that the guy is sort of man crushing. Well, they're both man crushing on each other. He's still not going to look up to him or admit to it, even if he does. Together, they're pretty much a gang of mercenaries that are following Griffith on his journey to achieving a dream. He wants to have his own kingdom, except that Griffith is not a noble born. He's a commoner, which means it should be impossible, but that's his dream. And from fighting so many battles, they acquire an amazing reputation all over. and eventually they get in. They get the favoritism of a king, and it appears that because they can fight battles that no one else can win and win them, win battles no one else can win. Yeah, that sounds better. They're getting so close to the king, and even his daughter is like crushing on Griffith, that it seems like he'll eventually marry the king's daughter and become a king. um, Guts overhears Griffith talking about his definition of a friend. And Griffith says to whoever he's talking to that a true friend is someone that's on your same level, not above you, not below you. I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what he said. Guts takes this to heart, and because he hardcore, he has a man crush on Griffith. I mean, I swear, if the story hadn't pivoted the way it's going to, I would have said this is an LGBTQ story of the most epic I've ever even knew existed. Because you're really fucking believing that these two guys admire and respect each other so fucking much that in time they would have been the first LGBTQ couple ever. They would have been running a fucking kingdom or some shit. And you have to read it to really fucking understand what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't feel forced at all. The entire story feels so organically paced. The way it's written is masterful. The way it's drawn is of such a insanely high quality that I swear I feel that AI must have been in Japan now for decades. Some of that shit just looks so impossible to draw. I don't know what the time span is that manga writers and artists are given. I know that in America it's a month, pretty much. You got a month. I mean, obviously they probably do the shit months and months and months in advance before they even get started. I mean, that would be the most recommendable thing to do, right? But even still, it doesn't feel like something one guy could fucking do in a month. And Berserk is the story of the most epic proportions done, apparently. I don't believe this. I really don't. Done by just one fucking guy. One guy. I think I can't say his name. Kataru Miura. I don't know his name, but it was illustrated and written by one guy. This one guy wrote on the level of the best, drew on the level of an impossible fucking best. Now I know that there's computer tricks that can be done. Like, okay, so you want the landscape to be really detailed, you do that super big, scan it in or whatever, shrink it up. There you go. But you want layers, right? Then you do another drawing, you're gonna fucking layer it on top of that landscape. So now it looks like, holy shit, how was this even possible? Yes, okay. It's still a shitload of work for 1 month. You have to see these things. Normally, when a human being and even a motherfucking team is doing a comic book in America, DC Comics, Marvel Comics, they'll have those epic shots, or as Todd McFarlane calls them, the sexy shots. Like maybe once per comic book, something realistic, something that a human could, handle. The stuff in Berserk is inhuman. It's fucking so amazing, so good. And there's stuff that you wouldn't even notice unless you know to look for it. There's details there that are like, damn, that is so fucking consistent with reality. How how do they do that? I mean, this guy had to be a fucking genius on another level, or it was a group of people. I mean, sometimes you get an amazing story, even if the illustrations aren't epic. They're good, but they're not like, damn. And sometimes you get bad writing and amazing art, but to get both of those things at the same time, that's insane. So I finished that series, and to my incredible, I don't know how to say it. It's upsetting. The guy is dead. The guy that made Berserk died in 2021 before fucking finishing the motherfucking story. So there's a ton of characters that you're just left like, what about this one? This character over here was important. What happened with this character? And I really thought that after reading 377 fucking chapters, I was gonna it was gonna all wrap up nicely. I'm used to comic books that are, I don't know, 100 pages. I mean, 100 pages. 100 chapters, like 100 bullets, fables. Walking Dead was like, I think it was 192 chapters. So it's one of the biggest comic books I think I've ever read. And to not finish it, I mean, goddamn. So I saw all the trade paperbacks that Dark Horse reprinted, and they're amazing. I can see now why I've seen them in so many different videos on YouTube. They always have them right there in the back, those big black hardcovers with the dark red lettering where it says Berserk. Which, by the way, the title of the fucking story, Berserk, doesn't even explain itself until, jeez, like around 300, like around issue 300, I think. Maybe it's a little before that, but you're well into the friggin' series until it finally says, oh, by the way, there is a cursed suit that makes it so that the wearer can't feel any pain while he's getting demolished. And on top of that, it's sort of possessed by some kind of a fucking demon, so it turns you into a villain. So you don't want to wear it for too long, or maybe even at all, because you might just go ape shit and kill your friends. And that cursed suit is called the Berserker or Berserk suit. So that was like, damn, man. That is some motherfucking patience to be writing a comic book. And I don't know. be so dedicated to that vision that you're like, not yet. Why is it called Berserk? You'll find out. I don't know. It's so many goddamn clues that make me think like, okay, so manga writers are on another level, or it's a franchise. It's a bunch of people working on one story, which seems to make way more sense. But then again, I mean, I know in America, if you tried to do something like that and have a bunch of people working on one comic book, the story would be all over the place. You know, it would not keep its tone of voice. It would lose it and just go all over the place. Like I remember when I first saw the entire series of The Sopranos, I loved it. I loved it. I loved the people working in front of the camera and behind the camera. I was just impressed all the time. But I would notice when a different director that wasn't used to directing the series would all of a sudden direct an episode, the tone changed. It felt different. It felt almost inconsistent. The characters changed, you know? With Berserk, it never felt that way. Um, well, okay, there's one thing that I kind of disliked. I mean, the comic book is fucking raw in your face. This is real life, like it or not. I don't give a fuck because this is the way it is. There's rape. There's some like epic fuck scenes. um and like masterfully done, as far as the illustrations, the writing. It never feels gratuitous, even when you know that anybody else handling it would feel gratuitous. But like, okay, when there's nudity, it doesn't feel gratuitous. That's insane. It feels just like raw. Like, this is the fucking way it is. We're not censoring shit. And I wasn't used to anything like that. So of course it's gonna hook you in because it just feels so sincere and honest, you know, with the levels of beauty that life has to offer, while at the same time, you know, the opposite, the horrors, the ugliness, the sadness. Um, it's all in there. My one complaint would be the elf, or is it a fairy? Puck. He is the comedic relief of the comic book, and I hated it. I hated it. I would skim past his fucking dialogue, and I think maybe they got word because they're like, yeah, don't mix this fucking stupid ass character with guts. He's like the most serious guy in the fucking world, and now you want to put the most ridiculous thing in the world to be his companion. So they added a kid, another little. Um, he's kind of like a young Guts that just never got raped. So he's silly, but like silly to the max. Like, god damn, what happened with this story? I mean, it's like the most serious, depressing, dark, brooding shit ever, and then all of a sudden slapstick. So I'm not a fan of the little elf fairy thing, Puck. The boy, I warm up to him eventually, and even to Puck eventually when they kind of tone it down. And I don't know what the fuck was that about. Maybe somebody at the publisher says that this shit is depressing. People aren't buying it because it's not funny enough. You need to put some comedy in there, and it just didn't work. Not for me. Even the illustrations were altered from the very realistic style to all of a sudden when it's funny. You know how in some animes and manga, when it's supposed to be funny, they warp their faces. Like I've seen that in Full Metal and Naruto, when they're upset or angry or whatever, but it's supposed to be funny. You get the the warping of the animation all of a sudden to completely unrealistic. So they do that in this one as well. And it's like, I don't know. See for yourself. You'll see what I'm talking about, how the tone changes big time when those characters are around. Thankfully, for I'd say about the first half of the series, you don't really see them much. So it's still going to feel like the most amazing story you've ever read and seen. The illustrations are amazing. But then when so the story starts that he's already an adult, and I don't know what, but the series just decides, you know what, let's take this back. And then all of a sudden he's a child, and you see what happened, and he grows up and he joins the band of the Hawks, and so there's the first half of the story is a recap, and I'm exaggerating. It's not the first half. It might just be like the first 100 issues, I think, because eventually you get to the problem. Something happens with Griffith. He changes. Something happens with Casca. She changes. Guts change. And now you're in the present. I'm going to say that I enjoyed the the fuck do you call it when he's remembering? Whatever. I can't think of it. They do it all the time in movies. Flashback. I enjoyed the flashback story part of the series the most. And then what happens after that is just trying to fix the problem that got started before. And so you go on this sort of journey waiting for that to happen, unsolving mysteries. And but then when the writer artist died in 2021, so just a little while ago, the series went on hiatus. They didn't know what the fuck to do. We're told that the manuscript was there and that it has a happy ending. So can't wait to see what that is. The art now is not as holy shit, look at this. It's still good, or maybe I should say it's good enough. It's not bad. They don't draw as much nudity as the original creator did. Um, and they don't do it as well, I have to say. It's the original guy drew female bodies to perfection. I mean, attractive. The new person, I can't remember what her name is, or if it's a man or a woman. Miuru. I don't know. His or her illustrations, they look good. I mean, compared to what I can do, you know, their shit is amazing. But compared to the original guy, no, it's not even close to the same level. It's just good enough. So I I just want to see how they handle it. I don't want to give anything away. because I think that the story is that fucking good, and I don't think you'll ever read anything like that, especially not on that epic size, that scale. I think it's worth reading. It's worth owning, even. I saw that it got turned into an anime. Um, of course, it's not anywhere as good as the manga. Even the illustrations in the anime are they're a poor imitation of what you can get in the manga. So like if you're that fucking lazy, watch the anime. It's got music, so it adds another layer of intrigue, interest, quality, I guess. But the animation is just lacking. It's like a poor man's version of Berserk. I think you'd be much happier with the manga. So that was just it was kind of weird, you know, especially since Akira Toriyama died um, earlier this year, right? So I don't know what is up with people in the manga business dying. Um, I'm glad the lady that supposedly made Full Metal Alchemist is finished with that story because she might have been next if she kept writing it. Um, One Piece, I believe, is still going, but I think that guy's safe. I think that guy's safe. I don't think that One Piece is really revealing that much secrets to the world or anything. One Piece to me is just a story to enjoy, have fun. It's a fantasy. Whereas Berserk does have a lot of esoteric information on there. A lot. So did Dragon Ball. I started watching the new Dragon Ball actually, Daima. It's not dubbed yet. Um, I hear that you get to see the dubbed version November 10 through 12 in select theaters. So that might be fun. But I've already seen the first three episodes, so why would I pay for that again? I saw them on Netflix. I saw it in Japanese with English subtitles. It's fun. I love the animation. I love the intro song. Yeah, I'm really enjoying everything about it. I mean, the only thing that I'm not enjoying because I'm not used to it is having to wait for the next episode. That is so new to me. When I saw Dragon Ball Super, it was all at once. They were already out. I saw them in Japanese because they weren't dubbed yet. Um, Same thing with Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, even GT. I just saw them all at once. They were already out. So the this is the only Dragon Ball series that I've ever had to wait for, but it's worth it. I hear that there's going to be 20 episodes in total. I think the fourth one is out already, but not on Netflix. It'll be out on Netflix this Friday. 20 episodes. It's not bad. That's well, that'll keep keep us going till next year. I wonder if they're ever going to continue Dragon Ball Super. I mean, the manga kept going, so I couldn't wait for Dragon Ball Super Season 2, which, by the way, how do you call that a season? How do you call how many fucking episodes were there? 132 episodes? Something like that, I think. Might have even been 150, but no, I think it was 132 episodes. How do you call 132 episodes season one? How? How? I mean, think about it. It took them what, over 2 years to get that shit out. All right, let's just say that one episode of Dragon Ball Super came out per week, and there's 52 weeks in a year. So that would be 104 weeks in 2 years. Dragon Ball Super is 132 episodes. That's over 2 years. Let's not fucking call that a season. That is the stupidest fucking thing. It's ridiculous. It really is. You need to call season two a different thing. You cannot call it Dragon Ball Super Season 2 because dumb. If anything, call it Dragon Ball Super 2. Or Dragon Ball Super continues. Because I know that in entertainment, a season isn't 3 months, which is what a season is. I don't actually know how the fuck they handle their seasons. It seems like seasons are treated as 1 year of these episodes that came out. This is that season. And I get it. And then they come out for an entire season. At least that's how South Park used to do it. So they sold out. What's up, Trey Parker, Matt Stone? I bet somebody got to them. Somebody must have gotten to them. Why did they stop? Can you imagine how fucking genius, brilliant the shit that they used to put out would be right now? How fucking invaluable that shit would have been for them to just be honest, which is a commodity that most people can't really do nowadays. You can't tell somebody that they have a gender dysmorphia. You can't say to somebody that's mentally sick, don't make me a part of your delusion, keep it to yourself. I was just thinking earlier, like, what it would be like for people that aren't of this world to visit here and be like, wait, why are they respecting people with mental disorders and punishing normal people that don't want to go along with them? Uh, why are they pretending that one gender is better than the other one when that one is acting worse now? Nothing would make sense. Everything would be like, okay, these people are about to die out, I guess. I guess if we were all connected and we would be like one giant animal, this would be like when an animal gets brain parasites and they're not acting right. And you know they don't last very long after that. Anyways, don't get me started on that shit. Let me keep it in talking about stuff that I actually enjoy. Dragon Ball Daima, Akira Toriyama's final Dragon Ball work. The art is amazing, the colors are amazing, the special effects are amazing. There's nothing shitty I can say about it so far. I mean, the first episode is a lot of dialogue. It's a lot of talking. It's a lot of trying to let the audience know that this is taking place before Dragon Ball Super, right after Dragon Ball Z. which would explain why there's no Frieza, there's no Beerus. Who else is missing? There's no Videl. No, not Videl. Pan. There's no Pan. Um, it's a cute idea. Everybody got turned into a child. So it's true that back in Dragon Ball Z, when Majin Buu's story started, leading up to the final battle between Goku and Kid Buu, um, you see the devil. He's got all the traits: tiny little mustache, the goatee, he's red, he's got horns, and he's dressed up like a wrestler with a cape on. And then all of a sudden, we're told he's actually uh, a puppet for not Majin Buu, the other guy. What the fuck was his name? Starts with an M also. He looked like an old lady gerbil face or a rodent, but apparently he's a powerful magician. And he was controlling the devil. Can't remember the devil's name in Dragon Ball, but he was the king of the demons, and he was under mind control. And while under mind control, he gets killed. I forget how. Was it Vegeta? Was it Majin Buu? I don't know. But yeah, he gets killed. I kind of thought, like, where the fuck did this guy come from? Are we going to wait 20 more years to finally find out what happened to Launch now that Akira's dead? You know, I've always thought that Launch is a pretty obvious origin story. Like, she's clearly a Saiyan. Dude, she goes from normal to Super Saiyan. Yes, differently from sneezing, but still, she's got Super Saiyan qualities. That's a fucking story right there. I mean, who is she really? Because we don't really know much about her. I can't wait for somebody that works with the anime or the comic book to fucking say, there's a story there. Let's not just throw away characters. I mean, I see the connection so easily with the whole her hair changes to blonde. I mean, why not? Maybe she's a half breed, you know? Half breed. Like one of her parents is human, the other one is a Super Saiyan. Why not? I don't know. But, anyways, I don't have too much. Um, I don't know how to explain it. Anticipation. Like my anticipation for Marvel died with Stan Lee. And I guess it did for a lot of other people as well, because Disney, NASA, Marvel has decided that Marvel uh, cinema, or whatever the fuck you want to call that shit, is garbage, and they're just going to run it into the ground for all it's worth. Whatever. I don't have that much hope. I'm not looking forward to it. Anything after Daima, is it going to be good? Anything after the original creator of Berserk died? The illustrations are not as epic or amazing as they used to be. The story is weak as fuck. I think there's 10 issues that have been published after he died. It says that he wrote them, but he just didn't draw them. I don't know how much of that I'm supposed to believe that he actually wrote. I mean, For all the fuck I know, it's just notes, and the staff has to sort of fill in and write it. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is that the quality has gone down. So after Daima, it might just be all GTs. GT is Dragon Ball GT is okay, not really. When you compare it to Dragon Ball Z or even fucking Dragon Ball, um, the humor is not as funny as some of the stuff that was on Dragon Ball. That made me laugh a lot. The fight scenes are not as cool as some of the fight scenes in Dragon Ball. Uh, and no, it's nowhere near Dragon Ball Z. And I'm not even going to compare it to Dragon Ball Super because they had a lot of help, a lot of benefits there from technology. And yes, I swear, some of the animation in Dragon Ball Super looks exactly like very similar to what AI might might give you if you just sort of wrote the proper prompts. It doesn't look it doesn't look right. Oh, Daima looks amazing. It does look like, even though they had computer effects and shit like that, you can see that it's illustrated. I think that's why this one feels so special. And maybe that's another reason why we're only going to get 20 fucking episodes, which is like, oh, man, come on. GT was like 64 episodes, I think. Oh, well. So, yeah, it was Berserk, GT, and three more things I wanted to talk about. Let me get the briefest one out of the way first, which I believe is, the fuck is it? Oh, the movie The Witch. Hold on. Okay. The Witch with, I think her name is Anna Taylor Joy. Oh my God, she looks so beautiful. I loved her in that. Not only is she attractive and beautiful and adorable in that movie, she, I don't know, she's got such a feminine quality in that movie. This is before she became, I don't know. Uh, I'm a fan of intermittent fasting. Oh, when do you eat? Next week. She's so fucking skinny now. She really lost any of the feminine qualities. I mean, I look at her face, and yes, she's pretty, but she's not feminine. I think she got naked in Northman, where she can show you her excuse of an ass. But I mean, I don't know if she actually got naked in The Witch. Near the end, she gets naked, and you her character gets naked. I don't know if that's her butt or if that's a stand-in butt. Doesn't matter. Regardless, she looked more feminine. She had cute cheeks. I'm talking about her face. I mean, and she was doing an amazing accent. I don't know. Well, no, I think she's Argentinian, so that's definitely not her accent. But I could imagine an actual Irish woman sounding that way. It's like, I love the Irish accent. It's just the fucking best. I think most people love a good accent. What determines a good accent, though? Let's see. I love Southern accent. Who the fuck doesn't? French accents, not so much. I think they can sound good, but they're not automatically like, yeah, I love this. British accents all sound like they're assholes, like they're full of themselves. Let me rephrase that. English accents, they sound like they're assholes. Probably are. So the best ones are Irish and Scottish. Australian's pretty good too, but yeah, at the top for me, it's going to be Irish and Scottish. What else would be that good? Southern accent, that would be good. Those are good. Damn, I guess that's it. I don't really like any other accents. What does that mean? I don't know. Even Spanish accents can be really good, like Antonio Banderas, and they can be really bad, like Salma Hayek. No offense to Salma Hayek, but oh man, that accent. You know what? She sounds a lot better now. But when she was younger, damn, stop talking. You know why she was in movies, and it's not because of the way she sounded. Got some big implants. Such a tiny lady. I think she's like 5'2", which it's not very tall. But it doesn't matter. I mean, she must be a really cool person. She even snagged. I think her husband's a billionaire. Which, damn. Anyways, The Witch is a fucked up movie. I can't really say that I recommend it. It's depressing as fuck. It's about uh, a family from England moving to America. Um, why? Money, I guess, or the lie, the promise of money that's actually just a lie. And instead, all that ended up happening is they moved to a home a little too close to apparently a den of witches. So their newborn disappears and it destroys the family. And pretty soon the entire family is destroyed. And it's just the most nihilistic, bleak, dystopian, full of apathy, piece of shit. It's really not good. It's done in a professional, high quality way, but I remember back when Natural Born Killers came out, and that movie felt very different because the bad guys win in the end. So that was, I'm not going to call it groundbreaking, but it was something different that you could appreciate. But now it's just the standard. Everything has to be dark, depressing, no hope, you know, everything's bad, nothing gets better. And it's like, why the fuck would anybody want to put themselves through that shit? It's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for anyone. I mean, YOLO is the dumbest shit ever. I think the bad guys came up with that shit. I don't recommend this movie to anybody. I think it was a horrible piece of shit. And more than likely Anna Taylor Joy's ass is not really on film. That's a that's a stunt double's ass. God, what a job. Well, I'm gonna go to work. Oh, what do you do? Well, they record my ass and I get paid for it. Somebody pretends it's their ass and I get no credit, but I get a paycheck. Wow, what do you call that career? I get naked for a living. What job is that? What what do you write down? What do you do for a living? I am a stunt double. Oh wow! So you fall from high places? Uh, no. I get naked. Actors don't want to show off their ass because reasons, and I show my ass. Oh, okay. I mean, who would do that? Strippers, more than likely. Who the fuck else? Models? Maybe a model. I would hate to be a model in today's world. So think a lot. If you have a kid, don't let them be models. They're going to get fucked. They're going to get raped, molested, drugged, and definitely jaded. I wouldn't. The Witch is basically a satanic movie. If you watch it, all you're going to do is have a bad time. The actors are all amazing. The story is shit. The director is amazing. Why did he choose to make that? He must be a piece of shit. Yeah, you don't get anything out of that movie except the feeling that, oh, okay, bad things happen to good people. Maybe there's no point in being good. I should just be bad. I'm not saying that's what you'll think, but definitely if kids, young kids that are very impressionable, see that, that's the only motherfucking message they can get out of this. This did nothing good for humanity, honestly. And now, Joker. I saw Joker Part 2, and wow, that was a giant piece of shit. So, when I saw the first Joker movie, I thought, oh, this reminds me of that Brian Azzarello one shot graphic novel, I Joker, where Harley was a stripper and it was all done in this very gritty style of realism. What would the real Joker be like? I liked it, the Brian Azzarello graphic novel. The movie was pathetic. I like Joaquin Phoenix, great actor. Um, the the quality of the shots looked great. They look like they were done on film, not digital. But why are they doing that fucking stupid, pathetic motherfucking formula of trying to turn every super character, comic book character, into Spider Man? You know what I mean? Like somebody that they can sympathize with, somebody they can like, oh, I see myself in that. He's got problems. I've had those. Which is why I refused to watch Smallville because I had read the comic book and fucking Clark Kent was not the guy you relate to. You relate to Bruce Wayne, right? He has problems. He's dark. He broods. You don't relate to Clark Kent. That's the guy you want to be. Clark Kent does the right thing at all times. Everybody wanted to be his friend. Lana Lang wanted to fuck him, not the other way around. He was in the football team. Duh. He wasn't a fucking nerd or anything. He didn't start that shit until the Daily Planet. So, right off the bat, Smallville tries to get everybody to sympathize with him. Oh, he's like us. He's just like, he's nothing like us. He can fucking fly. He could stop a bullet with his body. I mean, fuck you, Jeff Loeb. You stupid old bastard. You piece of shit. You think you have the right just because you wrote, the fuck was that shit called? Man, Four Seasons or the Man of All, for All Seasons? Something like that. It was Tim Sale who got that shit sold. His artwork. Which is why Jeff Loeb buddied up with Tim Sale for everything he ever did. And that's the only reason why it should have sold. Daredevil Yellow was awesome. The covers, the quality of the material. I mean, everything was awesome there. But Jeff Loeb is just a simple writer. I mean, he writes very simplistically. And I can see from what he did with Smallville that he must think simplistically. So all he wanted is for people to sort of relate to Smallville's Clark Kent. So they would keep watching it. It was basically a novella reinterpretation of the Superman story. My parents watched it, they loved it. I refused to watch it because fuck that shit. Or be honest. Be fucking honest. Say that, you know what, this isn't exactly the comic book. We sort of re envisioned it as a soap opera. And then I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll watch this. But you alienate the fucking fans that are wanting to see a live action interpretation of the comic book. Instead, you're like, somebody wants the comic book, let them read the comic book. Fuck you, asshole. You think your shit was better than the comic book? It's not. It wasn't. But yeah, so they're probably not even smart enough to intro their shit that way. But way more people that are fans of the comic book would probably not be offended that it got completely changed if they admit that we wanted to do this as a soap opera because, well, those do pretty well and they don't cost that much. If we try to do a faithful interpretation of the comic book, it's going to cost us up the ass. We're not going to be able to do it. And if the ratings aren't where they're supposed to be, we're not even going to get to finish this fucking story. So that's why we hope you watch. And that's it. And I'd be like, okay, he was honest. I love that. Yes, I'm going to support that guy just because I want people that are honest. So I'm not going to say that Jeff Loeb is dishonest. I just think he's not smart enough. And that's why he didn't fucking say that. That's why he just made everybody think like, oh, this is what the comic book is. Oh, okay. No need to read the comic book. I already saw the show. Which is really what ends up happening. Most people, they see a film interpretation of a book or a comic book or whatever, and they think that's what that is. They don't ever think like that's just an interpretation. The actual source material could be way fucking better. So that's the shitty thing that ends up being the result, the outcome of people seeing something horrible like Dragon Ball Evolution. So everybody that didn't read the manga, didn't see the anime, sees that piece of garbage with no expectations. They see it. Maybe they like it. Although honestly, even if I hadn't seen any Dragon Ball and I see that movie, I'm gonna think this is fucking stupid. What does this have to do with anything? I guess I guess we need a sequel to explain it a little more. More than likely, people are just gonna believe, oh, so that's what I missed out when I refused to watch the anime. Wow. Didn't really miss out on much, huh? The piece of shit. Ah, oh, man. Can you imagine what the fuck would happen if Disney was ever sold Dragon Ball? If Shonen Jump, if the Japan government just said, yes, sell it to Disney, um, Disney would fuck up Dragon Ball with all the diversity. What is DEI? Diversity, in, something inclusive. I don't know. I don't give a shit. Golly. Dragon Ball would be garbage. It might happen though. Now that Akira is gone, like I said, I don't think that they're going to be able to draw in the same amount of people as before. Akira, if it was him, had a way with making stories be esoteric, brilliant, informative. Uh, you want to see more because it's also it's not only entertaining as an adventure, but it's also funny, and not funny like overboard, this is stupid, but just funny enough that you keep enjoying it. I think, or at least from what I've seen in on television, and people nowadays, the younger people especially, because they're stupid as fuck, have a really hard time finding that sweet spot when it comes to humor. So they'll go they'll go the opposite direction and become very cynical, or they'll go the opposite extreme and become very silly. And it's not funny and it's not entertaining. It's just like, this is stupid. Oh, man. Almost nothing of the world I knew is alive today. Michael Jackson, Prince, Akira Toriyama, Stan Lee. I think I just have Robert Englund, Stone Cold, and Alan Moore. I was gonna say Howard Stern, but no, he's already dead anyways. I mean, I don't know who this new Howard Stern is, but I like the old one. This new one is just a pussy. He Did you see that fucking interview with Kamala Harris? I refused to watch it. It was I saw a few minutes of it, but it's like ass kissing the entire way. Why don't you ask her a real question, you stupid fucking coward? What happened to you, man? I swear. His wife, his real wife, not the substitute now, Beth, Alice, was probably the only thing keeping him human. Now that he's just an old lady with a penis, I think. Um, yeah, it's not fun or entertaining to watch him. When I was younger, he would do interviews where he wasn't afraid to piss off the person he was interviewing. He wasn't afraid to ask questions that could offend them. It was awesome. I loved it. There was nothing like it. The closest thing we had, because we don't have that anymore, was Eric Andre, where he would treat the celebrities like shit. And I loved it because fuck celebrities. Honestly, uh, celebrities are worthless fucking puppets. Um, but I guess Eric Andre. He didn't know how to control himself. He was Eric Andre all the time, not just on the show. And somebody introduced him to the big kids that don't take shit, the Jackass crew, and Eric Andre pretty much just quit everything. Oh man, but I like him. I like Eric Andre. I For that one thing. I don't think that he needs to fuck with normal people, but if he's gonna fuck with celebrities, I respect that. The Joker Part 2, starring Lady Gag and Joaquin Phoenix. The movie felt like it was making fun of men. Joker plays the damsel in distress. Stephanie Germanotta plays Harley Quinn terribly. Fucking pathetic version of Harley Quinn, the worst version of Harley Quinn ever. And she plays the hero that rescues the damsel. Uh, Joaquin Phoenix Joker. What is this stupid name? Alfred? No, no, no. I don't know. In the comic book, the Joker never had a name. So Hollywood deciding to give him a name. Fuck you, Hollywood. I don't give a fuck what you call him. I'm not going to respect that. Go fuck yourself. Uh, Yeah, Lady Gag straight up saves him and then dumps him at the end. It's got the shittiest ending I've ever seen, but I mean, honestly, watching it, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. That the Joker is basically a little girl who has been raped, traumatized, and so she lashed out and killed. And now Joaquin Phoenix character faces the death penalty unless he's insane. Um, Apparently, the Nut House is co-ed because that's where he meets Harley Quinn. That's bullshit, but if, it's a stupid movie. They even fuck in prison. She gets out. Uh, the movie tells us that Harley Quinn is actually a rich girl that had committed herself just so she could meet the Joker. Okay. I don't know what nut houses are co ed, although this is not new. That garbage movie, the remake of The Crow, did the same thing. They had a co ed jail where they were both able to escape at the same time. So it's really hard to escape jail, but apparently, if you're buddied up with a woman, your chances of escape are like 100%. Um, the cops roughed up Joker one night, and I think they insinuate like they had also raped him. I don't know because he falls to the ground, but then it looks like they're doing something to his pants on the ground, and that's it. So you just have to sort of fill in the blanks. So he was raped. It's up to you. But the next day, he's pretty much in court, just telling everybody that he's not crazy. He's, the Joker is not a split personality. He just he's just a bad person. And so they sentence him to death. Then there's like a dream sequence where it's just so stupid. Somebody bombs the court as soon as he's sentenced to death, breaks him out. He escapes running through the city, and magically he just finds Stephanie Gag on some public stairs because she had told him like, "Hey, I'm pregnant," but of course it was a lie. And she's like, "No, no, it's over." And then he's just like crying, like, oh, "But you told me you love me." And she leaves, and the police catch him, bring him in, and he doesn't. He, while he's waiting for his death sentence, some other inmate stabs him to death, and the movie ends. And you're treated to a Lady Gag version of Frank Sinatra's "That's Life." It felt like The Matrix 4, a big fuck you to the audience, where you're not excited for another sequel. In fact, you're like, why did I waste my time with this? This big giant fuck you to the audience. Why would Joaquin Phoenix agree to it? I mean, is he under contract? Maybe he is. I don't know. But even if he was, I mean, why didn't he fight it more to say, like, no, that's stupid. That's nihilistic. This is just dystopian shit. We're programming people to think that this is normal. So, in a nutshell, the Joker Folly Adieu, which folly is not a mistake, Adieu the second. The second mistake? I might agree with that title then. It sounds like adieu, like adios, but no, it's two. I didn't like that they made him a character to sympathize with. I understand that when Alan Moore wrote a small, no, 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 a Killing Joke, the Joker was kind of a pathetic guy, but he wasn't that pathetic. Like, he was a different kind of pathetic, but fine. Let's say that's how he was. He was married. Um, he got pulled in to a gang because he needed the money. Uh, the heist, the caper went wrong, and he ran into a toxic chemical factory where he fell into one of the vats. Somehow survived, but it drove him insane. No, he's not ultra sane, like some people might say, which is just the stupidest fucking thing ever. He's insane. His brain doesn't work right anymore. Sometimes whoever is writing the character forgets that he got dipped into toxic chemicals and survived. You're not fully functioning anymore. Any version of the character where he seems to be basically a regular guy, just a major asshole, is getting the character wrong. So, this character for the movie, Joaquin Phoenix, who is, I'm going to have to say it's not the Joker. That's just some guy pretending to be the Joker. That's the closest thing to, what it really feels. Even if the people that worked on that piece of shit movie are like, no, this is the Joker and that's Harley Quinn and one of the fucking prosecutors was even Harvey Dent. Yeah, I noticed. I don't care what the fuck you call them. All of you fucking Freemason pieces of shit. You phony fucking Satanists, garbage bastards. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You make garbage. This kind of makes me distrust everyone in that. Everyone responsible that took part of that piece of shit. I don't want to see Lady Gaga on anything. I don't give a fuck about her. Oh my god, her face looks so disgusting. So she's had some work done, some surgery or some implants, so you can't see any wrinkles, especially around her mouth. It's really obvious. I saw her lips have so much collagen on them. It's like disgusting. She looks freakish. She doesn't look attractive. She's still a good singer, but fuck her. She's not a good person, so I don't want to hear her sing. I don't want to see her in any movie. I didn't see that fucking movie with Bradley Cooper, Making of a Star or whatever the fuck. Fuck you. What a full of yourself kind of title is that? Yeah, I never want to watch that. This movie was shit. It had nothing to say. That wasn't the Joker. That was pathetic. That was a big fuck you. And I don't know why. But I guess that's what they wanted to make. They didn't have time. They didn't want to, right? They were under contract. Nobody wanted to make the movie. I don't know, man. That was some garbagey shit. I think DC Warner Brothers has a reputation of being shit. Maybe James Gunn will do something good, but how good can it be? Did you see the new Suicide Squad? Why do I have to look at dick all the time? Why can't you show vagina, you fucking Satanist bastards? And I'm not saying I need vagina to be shown in a movie. I don't. I've seen a vagina. That's fine. You know, I don't need it in movies. But don't force me to look at dick like, oh yeah, but it's just dick. Penis is different. It doesn't matter. Go fuck yourself and your mother, you son of a bitch. Fuck you. I don't want to see a penis. You don't want to show me a vagina? That's fine. Don't show me a penis. I wonder what that's all about. Fucking garbage. And then maybe somebody did say something to James Gunn because in the Peacemaker show, he actually slipped in a shot of a vagina, which I thought, damn, uh, you fucking did it, James. Good for you, Jimmy. But he did it in a way where his leaders, his bosses, would not get too upset at him. He showed a picture of a vagina. I don't care. Again, I don't need there to be shots of vagina. I just don't want there to be shots of dick. Thank you. Is he going to fix it? I don't know. He might just fuck it up even worse, to be honest. James Gunn was at his best when he's being held back because he has to get creative because he can't just do exactly what he wants to do. Look at Guardians of the Galaxy, for example. That was his best work. Scooby Doo is also really great. Clearly, he's being forced to hold back. Now, if he's not being forced to hold back, you see Harley Quinn getting fucked. You see some dick all over the place. Even in Peacemaker, there were fuck scenes, and I don't want to see John Cena in his underwear, man. I don't give a fuck what you think, why I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. You might want to see it because, you know, you're a Satanist piece of shit. Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to see it. And again, I'm not trying to say, oh, show me naked women only. No, show me none of it. I don't need nudity, you know? Especially when it's a movie that you know that a lot of people are going to want to watch. Don't force them to watch nudity. I mean, that was the most low handed, below the belt piece of shit thing, scumbag asshole, motherfucking action that Disney did in the Eternals. I would have hated them forever if I had brought my daughter. But I had to see that shit with my parents. The Eternals had a fuck scene, a full on fuck scene with grunting and shoving of the hips and naked guy with his ass out. And it's like, what the fuck? I would just like to smack and punch everybody behind the camera on that project. Bob Iger is clearly a piece of shit. He's not the real boss. He's the mascot. He's just the face. We don't know who the fuck is actually running the shit. It might be BlackRock. It might be whoever controls LGBT AI plus. Wait, no, it's not AI plus. IA plus, whatever the hell that means. Honestly, stupid club. If you keep adding letters to what you call yourselves, what that is uh, alphabet, right? That makes more sense and it's easier to say. Well, maybe it's the alphabet mob, maybe it's Epstein and all the other scumbags like P. Diddy. I wonder what's going to happen with that shit. P. Diddy. Did he do it? Probably. Did he do something to Bieber? I mean, he did something to Usher, clearly. Damn. I remember back in the day when one of my ex girlfriends actually had a crush on Usher. Man, if I could see that chick now. Well, when you liked him, P. Diddy liked him more. Oh, man. I saw a mugshot of P. Diddy. What's his real name? Sean Combs? Sean. Oh, man. He looked like a reptilian in that mugshot. His eyes are all close together. His mouth looks like it has implants or something. I mean, his mouth looks like a beak. Like it's protruding outward. It doesn't look normal. It doesn't look human. It looks like when you hear stories of reptilians that look humanoid. Yeah, yeah, he looked just like one of those. He did not look human in that mugshot. I wouldn't be surprised if that's photoshopped, but because he doesn't look human at all in that one shot. Who knows? Maybe the more horrible, disgusting, inhuman things you do, the less human you actually are. Maybe. I've heard so many tales about that. Oh, you know what demons are? They were human once. So, yeah, that would check out. If that guy really has done all the shit that they've said, that picture makes a lot of sense. The election is coming up. I think that's November 5th, right? Tuesday? Oh boy. Who to vote for? So I've researched the candidates. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he's still in the ballot, but I don't know why, because he already said, like, I'm not running anymore. And he did it in his very unique voice. I don't want to make fun of his voice. He seems like a strong guy that works out. That's awesome. But explain the voice. Ignore the voice. That just brings more attention. If you, I don't know why he sounds that way. He sounds like he used to be a chain smoker until he got throat cancer, and now he always has to sound like he's an old man. I don't mean to make fun of him, but that is what his voice sounds like. It makes you feel bad because you don't know why that's going on. Like why it might be that he had throat cancer for all I know. I mean, regardless of what he sounds like, he was the guy that I would have wanted to vote for. I liked what he was saying. Second from him would have been Cornel West. He was for, or I should say, he is for universal health care. And I think that's what America needs, like 100%. If we have universal health care, that means that the motherfuckers in charge of running this shithole would not be trying to poison us at every chance they got because it would not be profitable anymore. Until we have universal health care, the FDA is always going to be approving shit that isn't good for your children, for your parents, for anyone, for your animals. They're not going to fucking stop because it's money. As soon as you get sick, you have to pay for it. You have to pay your insurance. You have to buy your treatment drugs. In Europe, where universal health care exists, there is no profit in making them sick. So instead, they profit off of Europeans in different ways, in ways that keep them happy. So they keep them happy, they keep us sick. They keep them distracted by keeping them happy. They keep us distracted by keeping us unhappy. Over there, people get to just live. Now, I'm not saying that they're not wrongly programmed like we are over here. Of course they are. They're lied to, just like us. They don't want them to know the truth. They want them to think, hey, just fuck around. Yeah, it feels good. It boosts your immunity. Yeah, fucking people, that's great. Keep fucking around. That's how you meet new people. Go different places and fuck. Might sound good to the uninformed, but well, if you know the truth and you can eat healthy food because you can buy it anywhere. I never saw a fucking Walmart when I was in Europe. Why is that? I traveled through 11 countries, so I never saw a Walmart. There's a bunch of food markets, and their stuff looked amazing. And it tasted great. Oh man, that's why I would vote for Cornell West. I mean, he's also for all black people receiving reparations, which uh, I'm not for because the people that deserve it are already dead. Um, but yeah, go ahead, do it. Why not? It's not a popular thing to say. I don't support that. I'm not against it. I'm just not gonna, support it. I don't really think that it'll help very much, though. I think that reparations might help a little, not that much. And besides, how much do you give someone? You know, and why only black people? I mean, there were a lot of people that had slavery affect their families. Their ancestors. Is it ancestors? You know what the fuck I mean. Like the Slavics, they were slaves. That's where the word slave comes from. These were white slaves. There's a lot of white people that have been affected somewhere down their lineage, or should I say up the lineage? But, that's not part of the American history, so then we're not talking about white slaves, only black slaves. What about brown slaves or red slaves? Mexicans, Indians, Native Americans, are they going to receive reparations as well? Now, if it's more, you know, like that, we're not just talking about only black people. If we're talking about Native Americans, which I think they already have their reparations, right? They get to have their, what's that fucking word? That one land. Fuck, I can't. I don't know the details there. They have their special areas that they live in, and they don't, I believe, what I've seen in movies, I'm not sure. They have benefits, whether it's not paying rent, whether it's getting a paycheck for free. I'm not sure what the benefits are. Maybe the different tribes have different benefits, or maybe they're all the same. I'm not sure. But there is a benefit there. I know that if they get in trouble legally, because I've met a lot of these Native Americans that have, if they get in trouble legally, they have free legal help. So uh, maybe that's not all of them. Maybe that's only a few tribes. I'm not sure how it works. But I think maybe Native Americans have gotten some reparations. So then, if reparations would be not only to the black people, but also to the brown people. Oh, hold on. Okay. I was interrupted by the visit. Now, what was I saying? I liked Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but he dropped out. He's endorsing Trump. I like Cornel West just because of the universal health care that he offers that I think we really need. As far as reparations, unless it's not only for black people, but also for brown people, then I'm not for that. Jill Stein, very pretty old lady. I don't think she has a family, or I didn't really read that she had any kids. I'm not sure. She's the main candidate for the Green Party. And I'm not really sure why we never get told about the Green Party. You never hear anything about the Green Party or the Independent Party. It's just about the Democrats versus the Republicans, the left wing versus the right wing, but in the end, they're both connected to the same animal. So that really got me curious about the other candidates as well, the ones that aren't Democrats or Republicans. I wanted to hear more about them. And I wasn't disappointed. I mean, I would have voted for Robert F. Kennedy, but if he says Trump, then I guess I'll go with Trump because I'm definitely not going to go with Kamala Harris. For a long time since I was a kid, growing up, I always heard from my parents, who are Democrats, that the Democrats are the good guys because they're for the people, whereas the Republicans are for rich people. That's pretty much the understanding in low educated areas, I would say. Because the more I learned about history and government, the more it seems it's the opposite. Democrats were pretty much the South. They were the Confederates. They created the KKK. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that. Um, Whereas the North, you know, Abraham Lincoln and all that, they're the ones that created the Republican Party. So I don't know, but I've heard a lot of stories about Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, and how they fucking lie about everything just to get some money. I don't remember if Barack Obama is a Republican or not, but he seems to be very much in favor of Kamala Harris. Um, Over what? Over what policies? No, forget the policies. That bitch has no idea what the fuck is going on other than to say that she's black. She's black-ish, but she's not African American. She's Indian, and on her father's side, I believe they were Irish. This empty ass bitch pretended that her own grandmother was somebody else. That's incredible. That doesn't surprise me that Barry Soetoro, aka Barack Obama, or Michael's boyfriend, um, would support her. Michael Laban Robinson, aka Michelle Obama, the ugliest dude in the world, who still has a penis, by the way. I saw the Ellen DeGeneres show when she's grinding her hips and something between her legs is flapping. Fuck. We live in a sick world. I can't really say I'm for Trump, but I'm not against him. I think I'm for Trump in this presidential election simply by default because there's no other better choice. I mean, maybe it is Cornell West who should be president, but it's not going to fucking happen. Before I received the ballot so I can see who the candidates were, I had never even heard of Cornell West. I looked him up on a few YouTube videos, and that's the only reason why I know about him at all. So I'm pretty sure that I'm not alone in this, that the majority of people have no idea who the fuck Cornell West is. Maybe a couple of people that, you know, dig a lot in order to be informed about shit that might matter. It looks like Trump's going to win. And hopefully that's a good thing. I don't think Kamala's going to win unless they cheat, which that can happen. Plus, there is a way that Kamala could win. Remember that your votes count as suggestions. The electoral collegiate can always decide to vote against your suggestion. If you remember when George W. Bush ran against Al Gore, and more people voted for Al Gore, but the electoral collegiate, the guy from Florida, which I think was George W. Bush's brother. Can't remember his fucking name. Is it Ted Bush or some shit like that? And he voted for his own brother because duh. And W. Bush won. So, yeah, who knows what'll happen. If Kamala Harris wins, well, we're at the end of the world, I guess. It's the fucking end of days, revelations time. I don't know. On one hand, it'll be the first female president, and maybe women will have reason to celebrate and say that, yay, we're all equals now. Like a lot of people, I think maybe might have relaxed after Barack Obama became the first black president. Like, yay, but who knows? Who the fuck knows? We'll see what happens. I'm voting for Trump. All right. That's all the time I have. Talk soon. Later.